Hey, what's up, guys? It's Gavon Gu back again for another exciting edition video. I love this show. I love watching bad movies and talking about them. And tonight's movie collection we have another thrift store find. We have the Psycho 4 movie marathon pack. All Universal movies. This is Psycho 2, Psycho 3, Psycho 4, and Psycho... No, that's not Psycho 5. There is no Psycho 5. This is The Bates Motel, which was a TV movie made in the 80s, starring Lori Petty and Bud Cort, that had nothing to do with anything to do with Psycho. It was clearly its own thing. It was made to be a pilot for a TV series based around the motel where spooky things happen every week to a bunch of people inside. Anyway, Psycho 2 was the first one I saw in the franchise. Saw that one whenever it was on USA during the Up All Night era. Scared the crap out of me as a kid because of all the different sequences. And after that one, I immediately saw this one and this one. What can I say? Original Psycho was made in 1960, and it was a low-budget horror film made by Alfred Hitchcock, using this crew from the TV series Alfred Hitchcock Presents, sort of a side project, but he put so much into it that it became a cult classic. It was just one of the first slasher films, unless you count Peeping Tom, which came out the same year. It had the sort of slasher tropes that are now considered like cliche today, but back in the 60s, this was a big deal. This was major shit right there. So anyway, this is 22 years afterwards. Norman Bates is back. If you don't know the story of Norman Bates, he's the runner of the Bates Motel, and his mother, I don't want to spoil it for you, but if you haven't seen any of them yet, I don't want to spoil it for you. So basically what's going to happen is I'm just going to give you a rundown of basic plot points of all the movies. I'd suggest watching part 1 first if you get the chance, and then watch part 2, and then you go talk about part 3, which is my favorite in the franchise. Stars the redhead chick from Friday the 13th part 5, who gets impaled on the bunk bed. She's in this one too, and she gets stabbed to death in a phone booth. Anyway, and this was directed by Anthony Perkins, who stars as Norman Bates in all the films up until the remake in 1998. But Psycho 3 is my favorite because he directed that one, and it has a lot of like psychedelic, trippy camera work and lots of cool stuff in it that makes it really unique. And there's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of like faith questioning type things in the movie. It's a thinking movie. I love it. And we go on to the one Mick Garris directed, which is Psycho 4, The Beginning, which was produced by the Showtime Network in the early 90s, about 94. And Anthony Perkins, a little bit older, married to a nurse, and is calling in a radio talk show to talk about matricide, which is, if you don't know what it means, when a boy kills his mother, they call it matricide. And that should be a little hint of what's happening in like the earlier films, like this one and this one and these. So I'd recommend seeing them in order. But if you ever come across this, I highly recommend buying it. It's really cool. It's all 4 movies on one disc, and no bonus features, no trailers, no nothing like that. But it's all good. You get to watch the movies and enjoy the hell out of them. So with that being said, this is my 14th episode. So if you like so far, you like what I'm doing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll talk more about horror films and other cool things. Auf Wiedersehen.